G'day guys, this is Andrew Price here from blenderguru.com, and the Architecture Academy is just a few days away. It's coming up to its launch, so a full trailer is going to be coming out very shortly. But what I thought I'd do in this video is give you 13 deadly sins of architectural rendering, because when I first started out, I made a lot of mistakes, and I later learned that those mistakes are bad. So, and I also have noticed online a lot of other people are making these same mistakes, and so I thought I would just make this quick video to just sort of help people out, give you a few pointers, and maybe you can avoid the same mistakes that I made, and start making some cooler looking architectural renders. So I'm sitting here in my house this time, on my couch, with two furry objects. Hold up, don't you run away. Not yet. My cat, and of course my furry microphone, which everybody commented on last time. This guy is probably not going to stick around. He likes to sleep and he doesn't like me talking. But anyway, let's get into it. Number one, first deadly sin of architectural rendering is wide lenses. Everybody likes to use wide lenses because you're able to capture a whole lot of your scene. You know, you've spent hours and hours perfecting this lounge room. You want to show it all. You want to show it off. But actually, using a really wide angle lens results in visual nausea for the viewer, because they don't know what to focus on. Their eyes are just darting around. There's just so much going on, and it's better to use a tighter frame, so to actually zoom in on something in particular and focus on that, than it is to use a super duper wide angle lens, which just so many people use. So that is number one. Number two, no personality. So this is getting into sort of what we discussed in the first video, where interior scenes in particular, they need personality. I mean, really, when you think about it, if a room doesn't have personality, it's got nothing. It's just a room. Who cares? So you need to be thinking about a specific character, an imaginary character that you've invented in your head that is going to be living in that space. And then all the personality from that character will be reflected through its furniture. Number three, no point. When I look at a lot of my old renders, two words come to mind. So what? From the start, you should have a clear goal, a clear message that you're trying to convey, whether that be a mood, whether that be, you want the viewer to desire to go to this place, this lounge room, or this, exterior shot of a house, or something like that. Maybe you're pointing out the contradictions between the nature and the architecture, different things like that. But it's got to have a point. Number four, too bright. A lot of people like to light everything in their entire scene. I know I did when I first started, and that's a very bad mistake, because when you try and light everything, you end up with a very washed out looking scene, very low contrast, and just nothing punchy, and it's just not good. Shadow is as equally as important as the light, if not more so. Like, if there was no shadow on this couch, you wouldn't know that there's these little dimples in it, things like that. Very important, shadows. So don't try and light everything, and take advantage of shadows. Number five, no nature. Now, I get this one. Creating trees, plants, very, very hard to do. But for an exterior shot, you really can't get away with not using trees to surround your house, for example. The viewer is expecting to see it. It's just natural. Unless you, the house is in the middle of the salt flats of a desert or something like that, there's going to be some nature around it. I can't think of a place in the world where there wouldn't be. It just looks bizarre. And also, nature will really help to tell the story of the house as well. And it's that whole bifolia effect, which is that human beings feel more comfortable, relaxed, and focused around nature, which is probably what this guy needs right now, because he's getting pretty restless. So maybe I'll let him go. All right, you're going to escape now. Now he goes all slowly. He was fighting me before. Number six, too many colors. They say, as a general rule of thumb for photography, you should never use more than 3 colors per shot. So you need to be paying very, very careful attention to the colors that you've got in your scene and making sure that you don't use too many. And by the way, you can tell you've fallen into this this deadly sin when you put your image in black and white and it actually looks better. Number 7, no focal point. And I'm not talking about focal point for what the camera is focusing on either. I'm talking about something in the scene which your eye is immediately drawn to. So that could be like a striking fireplace, or some really interesting artwork, or a crazy pattern on a pillow, or something like that. There has to be something in the scene which the viewer's eyes are drawn to. Just one thing. And if you don't have that, unfortunately, the viewer will often just the eyes will pace around the scene and then they'll go, all right, cool, and they're finished. Number 8, no harmony. This is when you're creating a scene and you start looking around online for, inspiration sources or, furniture, and you go, oh, that chair looks pretty cool. I'll put that one in the scene, and oh, that couch looks cool, and hey, that artwork really looks cool, and I like the curtains in that one. And then you put them all together and you realize they don't fit at all. You need to be thinking about the whole scene. You need to be thinking about how all of those objects are going to be fitting in together with each other. You can't just be pulling in your favorite objects from all different places, because the beauty will come from their relation to each other. Number 9, too diffused. The real world is actually a very highly reflective place. Pretty much every object has at least some level of reflection. Even the most diffused materials you can think of, like an interior white wall, even that's going to have some level of reflection on it. I mean, the fact that people's hands are going to be touching the wall, that's going to leave oil from the hands on the wall, that's going to stay there. That's going to give a little bit of gloss. So use a texture to add a little tiny, shiny little bit of gloss to your walls, and that's really going to help you out. Number 10, low visual interest. So what I'm talking about with visual interest is contrast, patterns, and colors. If you've got a white wall, why not put a plant in front of it with some really sharp, interesting looking leaves, which are going to add some texture to it. If you've got a white countertop, put a black eggplant on it to break up the whiteness. If you've got a really bland, neutral looking room, why not put a splash of color on the coffee table? Something like that. You need to have some level of interest, but don't go overboard or else it's going to look irritating. Number 11, neglecting composition. You can get everything else right, the lighting, the interior design, the architecture, everything else right, but if you mess up the composition, you're gonna mess up completely. So you need to be doing as much research as you can on composition. Pick up some photography books. I mean, you don't even need to read books. You can just go online. There's articles galore on composition. Everybody knows rule of thirds, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's framing. There's all sorts of different aspects that go into composition. The more you read up on it, and the more you familiarize yourself with composition, the more your renders are gonna look awesome. Number 12, boring ceilings. I got my cat back now. Boring ceilings happen because gravity. Everything is stuck to the ground, and that's great, but it doesn't work for composition, because it means that 50% of your shot, if you've got a shot of a room, for example, is going to be outbalanced, because everything is stuck to the floor and there's nothing on the ceiling. You need to be thinking about different parts of visual interest that you could add to the scene, to the ceiling, to give it some interest. So maybe an air conditioning vent, or an interesting light fixture, or I don't know, smoke detector. It's even common nowadays as a popular trend to actually put little, like, crazy wallpaper across your ceiling. Like, people have sort of realized, like, hey, we're decorating the rest of the house, why not do the ceiling as well? So that's sort of becoming popular now. A lot of like coffee shops, restaurants, they're now doing the ceiling made out of concrete to give it that sort of edgy sort of vibe. So there's different ways you can do it, but just don't neglect your ceiling. Number 13, the final deadly sin of architectural rendering is tilting the camera up or down. So don't do this or this. It needs to look like this. The reason for that is if you tilt the camera up or down, it'll look as though the walls are falling over backwards or falling inwards, because the viewer only has the image to go off. They don't know where the center of gravity is or where the horizon is or any of that stuff. So it's very important that you keep your camera completely level, especially for interior shots, but also for exterior ones. Don't tilt it, and your viewer will thank you. Alright guys, so that is the 13 deadly sins of architectural rendering. Hope that's sort of given you some ideas of what not to do. So as I said before, the Architecture Academy is going to be released in a few days now. It's coming out on the 10th of July. So that's going to be opening up very soon. And I've got a final trailer, which I'm going to present on the 9th of July, the day before, where I'll be revealing the entire Academy in its, all the details about it, as well as the price of it. A lot of people have been asking me, sending me emails, what's the price of the Academy? So I'll be covering that in the final video on the 9th. And on that note, I'm going to be doing a post where I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Okay, so if you have any questions about the Architecture Academy, you want to know what's in it, I don't know, like how long it is, yada yada yada, just send me an email or leave a comment beneath this video, and I will answer them in the next post to come tomorrow. So I really do mean it. Send me an email, put it in the comments, and I will cover the most popular questions in the next post. So that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this this little video. And that's all from this guy as well. He didn't stick around for most of it, but yeah. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.